Here's a clapperboard.
How did you know?
I have a clapperboard as well, but I just don't use it. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the A.I.R podcast, where we live and breathe creativity in hopes to inspire and impact everyone around us. So today we have a good friend of mine and a really lovely guest, Sam here. Say hi.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. So a bit about Sam is that he is a stop motion animator and an aspiring DOP and also a really avid football fan. Is that right?
Yes. Animation, football. Oh, I can't. Oh, no, animation takes it.
All right.
But football is, it's a big priority of mine.
Yeah. So a bit of backstory is like we actually met in uni, and one of his most recent film at the time that we're filming this is in the works, and we're working together on it. Can we share the name of it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it's called Misty. It's a film noir stop motion style of a detective in New York, and he's done a lot of work. So I'm gonna just put a few clips of what Sam has done right now.
Hairdressers are in the employment of the government.
So yeah, here's all the cool stuff you've seen Sam has done. How do you feel about that? You did like a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I am very. I will say I'm very proud of what I've done. Because I did a lot, but I also did a lot of work with my mate Archie, and we co-directed it. But yeah, I am very proud of it. Obviously, it's not quite there yet. Got a lot of editing to do. Pretty much the majority of post to do. But it's still just so like fun to make, and I just enjoyed every moment of it. So just to see like the output of it all and see what it looks like now, and just to go through the process of it all was just fun. I just like it. It's our little project. It's our little baby. That's how.
Oh yeah, and it's a really cool project as well.
Yeah. And your work is valued very highly.
Yeah, for any of you guys watching, I'm gonna be doing the color for this, so it's gonna be kind of different because I'm gonna be color grading all the raw files from stop motion, whereas most colorists would work with like full-on films or like full-on video clips. So yeah, it's a new experience for me as well, and it's gonna be something really interesting. So look out for that. But yeah, how about a bit more about you? Like, what got you into animation, and like, how do you like develop to slowly love doing like DOP stuff specifically as well?
Wow. Okay. So got into animation in general. So I originally was sort of looking at post-production, believe it or not. And I was looking at the university, and I always knew I liked a bit of something to do with art and like photography and just anything a bit artsy and a bit creative. I always enjoyed. And I was sort of looking through their website, and I saw animation. I was like, oh, I love animation. And I'd previously made a few 2D animations. They were silly little drawings, silly little ideas, little films that I made myself. And I put them on YouTube. They got some decent recognition. I mean, got taken down, sadly, because they were a little bit inappropriate. But that's where I sort of fell in love with animation. And then sort of did the first year at uni, and in the first year we sort of have to learn about all the fundamentals of animation, all the, I guess, like how you are supposed to animate, but very much in a 2D way. And I had a good mate on my course called Archie, as you know,
Yeah.
and we sort of like teamed up on everything because we were just friends. And he was already very successful in stop motion, having a YouTube channel that has millions of views, pretty much. And I just thought that was so cool. But that was Lego stop motion,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, I like the whole Lego thing, but I quite like just to like make something a bit more alive, a bit more tactile. And we sort of teamed up on this project where we had to do a lip sync, and we made this like little character called Blob. It was very much Aardman style, and we had to do the lip sync for it, and I got a good grade for it, which like gave me a massive confidence boost.
Okay.
And then from there, I was like, stop motion is what I just love. And then I guess, yeah, you asked about like the DP side, and that really came about in a film called Fishing Bait,
Yeah.
where so I'd gone through the start of second year directing film, which was great, called Love Camera. But in the second part of second year, we had to sort of pitch a film, and I didn't win the pitch. So at that point, I was like, I want to do a stop motion film. I want to work on a stop motion film. But I was so used to directing, I was like, I don't really know what I want to do. But I always knew I like to have like as much input as possible when it comes to the vision, or the look of the film.
Yeah.
Because if I do say so myself, I quite like the art direction side, and I'd like to say I'm okay at that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And none of them sort of knew or understood. Well, they knew, but they didn't understand the degree I did of how to use cameras.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I can sort of play to my advantages here. I loved photography. I'd previously done photography. I mean, with film cameras, not.
Okay. So you started from like the real true root of like photography.
Yeah, so well, we can go into that way on. But I used to work in a film shop. I used to develop film.
Oh, wow.
I loved photography, and I was like, okay, I'll play to my advantages here. I love stop motion. I love photography. I like having my sort of input on art direction. That's a DP, pretty much.
Yeah.
To an extent, in stop motion. So I sort of took the role in Fishing Bait, and I immediately loved it. Got good results out of that. I mean, the film never got fully made, which is so annoying because it was such a cool idea. But I did that, and then I just fell in love with it. So that's sort of how the whole DOP sort of side came out of me. And from then on, I have studied it, tried to learn my best, met up with various people who I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit, and sort of just grown a massive love for it and lighting and stuff like that. It's just fun to me.
Oh, that's sick. Just in general, like for most people don't know, like mostly if you see DP or director of photography, then normally the guy is like really in charge of like planning the shots, planning like the look of the film, coordinating kind of like the directors to like the overall feel of how it looks aesthetically.
Yeah.
And like you can see a lot in films, like you've seen some like very powerful films out there, like maybe The Dark Knight. You've seen like such powerful images. Yeah.
Look at Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Some of the imagery in that is just so impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that film is amazing.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola is a bit of a genius, isn't he? But I think the way I would look at it is my goal is to get the director's thing across, but the most effective way to do that, the most effective way to get the emotion or the mood across for that shot. And that's what I enjoyed doing. So, for example, in Misdeed, I was the director, well, co-director, so it made it a bit easier because I'm a bit more biased. But I'd think about the shot, think about the scene, what needs to be motivated, and think about the best, like the optimal way to shoot that and the optimal way to light that. And that's what I'd say the DP's main job is.
Is there anything like different in stop motion compared to like live action films that you see, or even like for animations, because it's a different process in general.
I guess the scale is such a huge difference, and
Yeah.
I think one of the main differences is that stop motion. I mean, stop motion, in my opinion, is one of the best art forms going, because it basically, stop motion brings the things that don't seem possible. You are able to create a world, create a life, create anything, an environment out of nothing. You build it yourself, and that's what you are doing. Whereas in live action, you are filming what you are literally seeing, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can alter things in live action. You can warp, you can distort, you can use a camera effectively to do anything. But in stop motion, you have the creative liberty to make what you want, and that's why I think it's just so cool. It is such a lovely art form.
I think like stop motion seems to be like kind of re-emerging again in popularity. I've seen it so much everywhere now.
Yeah. You've got the new Leica film coming out. I can't remember what it's called, but they've just done the teaser trailer for that. It's incredible. You've got was it Norbot with the Aardman in the new Wallace and Gromit. You've got Ferris McGraw coming back. You've got Memoir of a Snail, which looks like one of the most beautiful films going.
Yeah, and even like advertising, there's so much more. Like recently, I've seen Airbnb use stop motion. Thatcher Ciders use stop motion as well.
Airbnb stop that campaign was lovely. The BBC Sounds one, that was a lovely.
Yes.
And then you've got Sam Gainsborough's work with the new co-op, ad where it's basically it's a till receipt that just keeps going. And
yes, I remember that one now.
There's the stop motion is just so cool. And I think as I said, it's like the excitement you get out of creating your own little world, which is so. I think that's the best part. You have so much creative liberty with it, and it's almost endless.
Yeah.
I think obviously annoyingly budget is a massive thing, and like scale or whatever. Like there's many different factors which can inhibit your thing, but I think the main thing that will inhibit you is your creativity and what you can use to create anything you want, really.
I think people nowadays like slowly are more appreciative to the effort behind the project as well, not just the final product.
Yeah. I think people understand that. It does take a long time.
Yeah.
I think people are starting to get to grips. Well, I think I always did get to grips with it. Look at everyone. Everyone knows Nick Park. Everyone's heard of Nick Park. And they recognise his brilliance. So it's nice that, like me, who's trying to grow my name in it, it feels like there's a bit more opportunity now than I'm sure there was before.
Yeah, is it just because like now you can see how accessible everything has been, or like you just get more influence and you can see like it's getting more, I wouldn't say mainstream, it was always there, but like it's gaining a bigger foot again?
Yeah, obviously I think the whole Netflix thing has taken it to another level, because they have massive ties with Aardman now. I think I don't know 100%, but feels like that, because you got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That was on Netflix. That came out on Netflix. You got the Chicken Run 2 that came out on Netflix. You got the new Wallace and they're doing the new Wallace and Gromit on Netflix. And it's just like, obviously you got the BBC, who has amazing ties with Aardman, and that's the BBC needs to stay forever, in my opinion. But Netflix is boosting it a lot. I heard that Wendell and Wild. There's loads. So yeah. It's very cool. It's very cool that stop motion is becoming a lot more common. But then obviously you've got to think the budget is huge to make a full stop motion feature. Like the time it takes is like it's almost ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like it takes a lot, but I think it's worth it once you see something created out of stop motion.
I think the fact that you physically actually like interacted with your set so much is
it's just so cool, and I think that's what drew me towards stop motion as well over the other mediums of animation, is because for me, who found his thing with the DP in the second year,
Yeah.
I could physically see it. I could actually see what I'm doing. I could see how light reacts to that character. I can see just as you would in real life, and I think it's incredibly admirable what people do in 2D to be able to see that, because I find myself I find it a lot easier to actually be able to see and feel what I'm sort of reacting with. What I'm doing is how it's reacting.
When you get started, how do you like kind of get into like what inspired you when you did stop motion?
What inspires me?
We're all growing. We always want to learn from like some of the best. So have you been looking out for anything cool, or what's your main avenue?
My main avenue. Hold on, I've got it written down. my main like so I can't remember their names 100%, but I actually find a lot of inspiration from art, which is quite.
Okay.
And here we go. I might butcher the pronunciation of the name. Okay.
Okay.
But there's
Oh,
artist called Kawasi Hasui.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on the pronunciation. However, his work is incredible. He's a 20th century Japanese artist, and he sort of makes loads of sort of sunset paintings.
Okay.
And I think his use of like tone and just like the way he creates and sets a landscape just by illustrating it is incredible. And I think you've got to take their art and think like you've just drawn that and sort of come up with it, or used a scene to inspire that. Use that to inspire something like that you can make. And that's the sort of stuff I'm looking at the moment. And then obviously for Misdeed, shameless plug. For Misdeed, I looked at a lot. We looked at a lot of Batman.
Yeah.
As in the original comic book sort of stuff, and then in the animated series in the 90s, looked at that. Damn it, that's just incredible. So I guess inspiration just draws out of like, it can draw out of anywhere, but it's sort of stuff that you find cool and you could find applicable in your own work. And
Yeah.
I think yeah, for example, like that Kwasi Hasui. I hope that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like you look at that and you're like, okay, I really enjoyed that aspect of how he's painted that sunset. Or like there's one that's called like The Road to Nico, which uses shadows like beautifully, and how you can take that, because that work is incredible, how you can take that and use that in your own work. And if you think you can do that, I think that's how I draw inspiration. So it's a bit like the Batman. I looked at that and I was like, okay, the colour and the use of shadow and contrast looks incredible in this.
Okay.
I can draw that and put that into my own work.
Have you ever tried like recreating it just for fun, or like?
I'm rubbish at art. I'm rubbish at art, so I struggled. But I guess tried to recreate the whole Batman look, that sort of thing with Misdeed.
Yeah.
I mean, we chose our own colours and we chose our own tones. We weren't just stealing it, obviously.
Yeah.
We really tried to sort of create that sort of atmosphere for Misdeed, and I personally think it looks great. But
I think it looks cool, especially like how the sets look as well.
Yeah, so that's I can't take credit for the sets.
It's Archie.
That is all Archie. He is pretty good at that sort of stuff, and that's another thing. We worked pretty well together, so, and hopefully we will work together.
Yeah, I might have just watched some of his like Lego stop motion growing up as a kid.
I'm sure you would have. I think one of them has like just coming up 700k views.
Oh my god! Yeah, I used to be a massive Lego nerd, so probably.
Yeah. Well, he is pretty. Yeah, pretty cool.
Okay, we'll get him on next time for sure.
Yeah, get him on.
But no, it's sick. Like, I think what most people don't understand is like the amount of things that happen behind the scenes. Like, it's so hard to describe the process of it, and also like how much people do work together.
Yeah.
And like with so many different people doing so many drastically different things, somehow making it fit all together, I guess.
It's great. How did you find that? Like seeing the whole stuff. I mean, you've had to be patient with us. I guess that's one thing that I would say that you
Yeah.
would have to.
I think it's just the way like we kind of approach it is very different, or how, cause it's both like as a person how we've been brought up to look at things.
Yeah.
Plus that creative input is always that weird chemical to like create something that's different as well.
Yeah.
It's a very different process for sure. Like working with images are really different. Seeing everything come together is very different, because it's like I also love to edit photos. So if you tell me to make something look nice, give me a bit of time, but like it's a single frame. But of course, moving images, there's so many different factors to look at, because lights are meant to change, things are meant to be drastic. It's just how to get behind that. And it's different from working with 2D animation as well, because they kind of have their like own little workflow, whereas stop motion's like you kind of have to see how it gets built first. And I think the thing was the early stage of testing. Yeah, testing was like the biggest thing that I think when we're so young in our career, like just trying to figure out what we want first.
Yeah, because I mean, we do not. I don't even. I'm sure loads of people at the big studios know what they're doing, but we really sort of had to kind of find our own feet properly. I mean, we had Laurie, who was incredible, but without Laurie, we would have found it very hard trying to work out like how to do the development process. And we sort of, well, I mean, we did it in the end, but it was hard. It was very hard. And it's funny you say compared to 2D, because on the course we had a set sort of time for the production, like pre-production, production, and post or whatever. Yeah. And stop motion's pre-production is so much sort of longer because you've got to build everything.
Yeah,
you got to make sure that works.
Physically, you need to get the materials, right?
You need to physically get the materials. You need to make sure those materials work under camera. You need to make sure that the characters are the right scale with the buildings. That was another problem of ours. You need to make sure the lip syncs work properly. You need to make sure there's all these consistencies are right. And it's like, it's so tedious, but fun. It is fun.
I think, like, back to in uni, like when you guys had to do like your stop motion, so you had to do it on set, in a physical set, which is kind of like why you're restricted to like that location.
Yeah,
I know like a lot of people in 2D, a lot of them do stuff from home and they work from home a lot more, and then they just come and meet in the studios because the software is kind of always accessible for them as much. Yeah. It can't be the case for stop motion, is it? It's just you have to be there.
You have to be there, and
it's tiring as well.
It's tiring. I mean, you're in. Obviously, it's not a dark room because you got all the lights and stuff, but you are in. So you're in black curtains all day, no windows, no nothing.
Does it get pressurizing? Cause me, I like when I do stuff online. There's always this undo key that I can always look at, like stop motions. Like, what happens if you mess up? How does that work?
Like if you mess up, you start again.
It's quite pressurizing, isn't it? Just like
not make
it is. It is, and this is why I didn't want to do necessarily too much animation, because I myself, I don't know whether you saw like it would. I'd say so. We'd set me an hour or 45 minutes to set up the lights for this shot or a shot or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would end up taking 2 hours or whatever. Archie would have to be like, Sam, come on, nothing is changing right now. Whereas I'm just like moving at like millimeters because I'm not satisfied or whatever.
Because you're that alpha perfection.
Nothing. I don't think we've had this conversation. Were you in the conversation? I don't believe there is 100% perfection. Anyway, whole different conversation.
It's art. We'll never be happy with our work. I think that's the thing with artists.
No, but I think that sort of correlates with like how I respond to pressure, and I feel like I feel pressured to make sure I have the best output possible. And when it comes to animation, that's why I found it so hard, because it was like, as soon as you make the wrong movement, okay, you can adjust it for that frame, but then if you didn't realize you made that wrong movement, and it's like you go on to the next 2 frames and you look at it, you're like, this just doesn't work, delete it, start again.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's there is 100% got to be a better way around it, but that's how I would treat it. And I felt like that pressure was just too much.
And it's also
That's
time
why-
consuming.
Yeah, it's very time consuming. I envy a lot of people's patience with it. We had a guy called Lewis.
Yes.
He was in second. Well, he was in second year.
Yeah.
And he was so good compared to us. Like, he was so good, and he would be there for hours on end just to do like a 3-second shot. And well, first of all, thank him loads for doing it, but second of all, just I envy like his patience and his talent to be able to do that to that level as well at this stage of his career. So
But yeah, I'm sure you get there.
yeah. Well, I don't know how much stop motion animation I'll be doing unless it's my own project now, because luckily I've met so many people who are so good at animation itself. But I think for me, I just really want to go down this sort of DP route and lighting and camera, and I've really fallen in love with that. Maybe one day I'll try directing again. But I've fallen in love with the whole DP route.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of like doing your own stuff, like anything you've been up to so far since we last like met and catch up? Cause last time we met was like graduation.
Yeah, wow, gosh. Anything I've been up to? I mean, it's just Misdeed, really. I've taken so much. I mean, I've got myself a little part-time job at a cinema though.
Oh, that's fun.
Free cinema tickets.
Watching all the new films get inspired again.
Exactly. Yeah. That's such a pretentious answer. Yeah, I like to get inspired by artists. I mean, I do, but films are where it's the main source of inspiration. As soon as you watch a film, you're like, well, I don't know about you. I definitely, I'm like, oh, I've got to make something now. I really want to do something.
Yeah.
I see.
Films are just so cool.
Yeah.
Well,
and once you like come to film school, you kind of like watch films in a very different way.
I don't know
about you. The way I look at films,
yeah,
because not even like story writing is like, oh, you always wonder, how did they do this? How did they do that?
Especially for you, so I haven't dived into live action yet.
Oh my gosh. No, it's not even that. It's like, what's this film? I watched Despicable Me 4.
Yeah.
Like, what I found was like some of these camera angles that they do, like they don't break any rules, but because it's so like the position and the angle is so unique, and I wouldn't say odd was the right word, but it's harder to do it with a cinema camera because of like
they don't break any.
Whereas in animation, you have the option to like build this 3D space.
Yeah.
And then like you can always put the camera slightly I would say obscure angles that makes it very visually interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Like you can do that in live action, but there's a lot more effort goes into it.
Yeah. And a lot more money.
Oh yeah.
It's about get some kind of rig like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. But even just the idea to have that kind of shot placed in like is a different level of like experience and creativity.
Like,
because they can plan the shot how it goes, but like how to portray that to the audience by like showing a 3D world in like a 2D screen. And I was like, yeah, there's still more levels. Like you think you know something, and then you watch something else. It's like, nope, you're back to square one.
Yeah, there's always someone who's got some kind of idea that could be better. Well, at least that's how I look at it. There's always someone who is going to be better than you. So you got to work to be better than them.
Yeah,
I think that's interesting you say that. Well, because I think when we were approaching Misdeed, it was like we just wanted like the best visual stop motion we could like possibly make within our skill set.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had to sacrifice many things like camera movements and stuff, but I think we were just trying to push different levels of the way we would like rationally think.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people like when it comes to creativity, it's insane.
How's that thought process like for you? Because you're trying to like obviously expand to do something new.
So it's not necessarily it is a thought process, but when I was planning a lot of the shots,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would we made a cardboard set.
Yes, think I remember. I saw that.
We made a cardboard set, and we'd look through the camera and just look at the different angles
Mm-hmm.
to make sure we find like sort of the best one. And that was how we sort of like did the storyboard on animatic.
Yeah.
We actually physically got it under camera and we could see like what it would look like in the scale that we were going to build at. I mean, obviously it looks very different under lights and camera, and many things we changed sort of towards the last minute. But I guess we looked at it for a cardboard thing, and that I think that is how the thought process works. It's more of like a visual thing for me. I have to sort of see it.
You have to actually properly do like a test.
Yeah, I mean, I had thoughts before in my head and like planned it all out, and like I planned out how I was going to approach the tests. So I had like a rough angle and a rough whatever, but
Yeah. I mean,
and a rough camera like setting or whatever that I have in my head that I've visualized in my head. I guess that's the thought process. I just sort of visualize what I think would be the best way to do it for the script. But then, it's sort of developing it under camera and the animatic.
That's cool because I've been to like the Harry Potter world in London.
How was that?
Oh, that was amazing. But what I found is it's not a theme. It's not really like a theme park that people go. It's a proper like backstage behind the scene. You see the set. So as a filmmaker, or like now that I've watched films and like seen the back end of it, I had like a lot more level of appreciation for it. From like hand makeup, props, costumes, camera.
There's so many different people when it comes to making a film.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, but going back to like when you're playing a shot, there was like this they did like a little showcase. So if you ever go there, like you can have a look. Where they had like a really tiny camera. And so what they do is the same thing. They made miniature sets, but then because this tiny camera is so small, like they can just they can like put it in
the
They
miniature
can just
set.
poke it around wherever they want.
Yeah, and then that's how like they kind of planned it. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I think 1917 they also made miniature sets.
Yeah.
So in terms of like, they did a lot of math on this. They calculate when like there was a scenes. Spoilers, sorry guys. When like they shoot flares in the air and that's actually your main source of light.
Yeah.
So they kind of did the same thing where they planned the camera and they also had like mini lights that like models to kind of like simulate.
Yeah.
And I was like, these kind of things. It's like
you don't realize as well when you're watching it. It's like there's so much that goes into making a film.
Yeah, and like even if you don't work on set, like just doing that, I think was a really cool story.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I think seeing the output. This is another thing that like keeps me going with making films. It's like it's a bit egotistical, but getting like some kind of gratification from people watching the films is like so good. And I guess all this long process, you sort of have to stick with it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the whole like development process of the films because I quite enjoy a little problem solving sort of thing. But I think the eventual output of the film and people sort of giving you gratification for the film is like just so cool.
And you get to see it on the big screen eventually.
Yes, festivals.
Yeah.
We're getting it in festivals.
Yeah. So for most people don't know like how it works for either like short films and stuff. If it's not going to cinema, where like you send it through like a distribution company, or you send to cinemas who try and help you distribute, you send them to film festivals. So best way to describe is like it's like a mini competition. Yeah. So you pay for an entry fee, people watch it. Yeah. So
it's so cool. I can't wait.
And it's actually like fun. Like quite a few of them would obviously have a film festival tagged in. So that would be either I don't know, like wherever they're based at, and then like.
Well, I guess you
get
can
to watch it.
You can look at it like the Academy Awards. Everyone knows the Oscars. That's essentially a blown up version of a film festival.
Yeah.
Getting nominated for certain awards with your film, and you hope to win them.
And you actually like, there's a lot of research that goes into this because people want to make sure that the film that they make fits the best category and the best chances of winning.
Yeah.
So like, Misty would go into like either stop motion category, or they can also go into like film noir, or they can go into like certain short films, student films as well. Like there's a student category as well, and you can kind of like look at the award list and like best cinematography, best animation, best acting. That's how like kind of you start off.
Yeah.
And it's quite cool because it's like there's a lot of research that goes into it as well.
There is. I mean, we're sort of in the process of the whole strategy thing now. We've got
Yeah.
we've got a whole budget allocated. We very kindly got quite a lot of money donated towards the film.
Yeah, you went like way beyond your target goal, so you had like a lot, and that's really cool.
It was so cool. Yeah. So we've got we got a generous budget towards festivals, and yeah, we're just gonna try and put it in, I guess, as many as possible, but yeah, the smartest sort of route possible to get as much recognition for the film.
Plan like the best kind of festivals as well, right?
Yeah. There's one that's like, I can't remember. I think it's called like LAFF, and it's like a crime and noir festival. That's top of the list, straight at the top of the list, because.
And sometimes those big ones are like more expensive in entry fee, isn't it?
Yeah. We're lucky we got the budget.
That's interesting. Yeah, but any tips for raising, like how for people who want to do this, like raising money and stuff? Cause like I personally, I'm trying to raise money for my own film as well.
Yeah. Any tips for raising? I guess we made the Instagram.
Yeah.
At Misdeed Film. We pushed a lot of stuff on the Instagram. I mean, we really should be posting more, to be honest, but it's not at the top of our priority. But when we were sort of putting the fundraiser out, we created a new trailer. We put on shots that we'd created already. And we'd linked the Instagram. So I guess showing what you've done towards the film and making people, like, reassuring people that their money's going to contribute towards something that could do well is the main thing. Because I mean, no one had to give us money.
No.
We are a bunch of students who basically just wanted to pay it, like, who want to do well with our film and do well with our career.
Yeah.
And the film will be a tool that helps boost our careers, hopefully.
Yeah.
And no one had to help us with that. But I guess the fact that we showed that we were making it, we've had people like Peter Lord and lecturers say that there's potential with the film, and by being able to show that we've got this recognition of potential, I guess that's what sort of reassures people to send money. And
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I forgot, name drop, Peter Lord actually came to our uni, and
Peter,
I'm kind of like so annoyed because that was the one weekend I missed as well.
No, you didn't miss him.
Yeah, I did miss him. Like,
so sweet.
I've heard so many good things, but like, I think I was on shoot that week, and then normally like where my desk is, that's where like all the animation people are, cause I'm kind of mingled around there.
Your desk, your office.
Yeah, I had like a little, cause in final year we kind of slowly choose our own space.
Yeah, well, we definitely didn't have designated spaces, but we basically did have designated spaces.
It's like an unspoken rule.
It was an unspoken rule. I mean, myself and Archie were the hermits who lived in the stop motion studio.
Yeah.
We'd walk into Studio 1 and it'd be like, Winston, you're on the right. Come on, cool.
Yeah, like, is Winston in today? And then you can just peek over and just see, or is it whoever you need in today?
Yeah. And then through us collaborating, I've got to put this in here. Through us collaborating, we got you introduced me to the five-a-side.
Oh yeah, we play. Yeah, so hobby wise, we play football, and then when I came to the UK, I slowly started to love football, and then now I try and play. I'm not that good, but I do play for fun.
But you also support.
No.
I won't throw any hate out there.
No.
I think that's the fun part of football culture here.
Yeah, the football culture in England is slightly ridiculous. It can be embarrassing at times. I can say that confidently. But yeah, I think if you grow up with football, you love football. And it's nice to see like you coming over and loving football as well.
Oh yeah.
And interested in it, and getting me into the five-side.
I think it's important.
Where I did skill you out multiple times.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have to say, but honestly, I think it's just fun to get out especially like we're in a course where you're so you obviously we do this because we love it as well, but we always have a balance of like some form of leisure where like we want to like take some time to relax, get outdoors, and it's just fun because we get to meet different people and do different things.
100%. And yeah, it's like my dad's yeah, he's done well in the creative industry, which is very cool. And he's always told me football is a language that everyone will know, and I will stick by that, because it's like you can make so many friends and so many good little relationships through football. So
yeah, and
I think I think that's one thing that I will always be doing. So
yeah, and subconsciously we just like it's just something like I wouldn't say form networking, but it's like you just get to relax in the space and you can just like express yourself, be nice, have fun.
Exactly.
And like I think that's kind of important. The more I see in a lot of different projects I've been on, it's like sometimes their works are good, but I don't know if you have this experience. Like if you can't talk to them, it just makes it a lot harder. And
100%.
not working with you doesn't mean we don't like you. It just means like we want what's best for the project.
Yeah, 100%. I think being able to converse and be sociable is one of the most important things, and football is very good for helping with that.
Yeah, I mean, just something social is quite interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have to show you my thing.
Oh, what do you have to show? Let's see it.
Look what I got. Look. Commentary top.
Oh my gosh, you had a whole sign.
Yeah, it's almost as big as me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
How do you get? Do you have that all along, or do you just get it?
No, I got it for my birthday, and it's the League 2 playoff final. That's where it's from.
I mean, tangent.
I'm a Coventry fan, by the way.
Yeah, tangent for that. But Coventry's doing decently well as well in their league.
Decently.
Yeah.
That could be a whole another hour's conversation.
But yeah, having those hobbies, I think, quite fun. Cause I think that's kind of like another source of like inspiration when I meet different people.
100%.
Cause I realize team sports are amazing, and I think that's why I wanted to go into like these kind of industry. Like, you're part of a team, you make sure everything gets better together, and like you do. That's what I want to do as well. Like, be part of a team and make sure that you get the best results with the team, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's sick. And wasn't expecting. I think like.
Yeah, sorry. I'll do a little shameless plug of the commentary. I think anything commentary related, I will shamelessly plug.
Yeah.
Sam's been trying to get me to get a Coventry shirt for as long as I started playing with him.
But you have to. It's Coventry.
One day.
Blame Winston, if I'm 100% honest, I do not blame you. I do not blame you. It is Coventry.
One day. The thing is...
One day. One day. Yeah. Or if not, I'm getting you one.
Yeah. Funding my films first.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll fund your film with a Coventry shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that's cool. Like, honestly, all the cool stuff. You meet people, you do things, you get people.
Yeah.
I think it's the same everywhere. You just get people excited. Things just seem to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you done that with Miss Deed as well?
Hopefully things will happen from now.
Yeah.
Not out on.
Yeah. So
it's scary coming out of uni, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think what's the next plan? You're doing Miss Deed now, and soon it's gonna be my turn to help with that project again.
Yep.
What's next? What are you planning to do? What you gonna try and aim for? I guess.
So, I mean, as you in the introduction, my end goal would be DP or maybe directing my own stop motion, but be a DP on some major feature films, and then but immediately, I mean, I've got work experience, which is good fun.
Could you share about that, or is it like a hush hush?
I'm pretty sure I can share about it. Well, it would have happened by the time this is out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it's at Electric Theatre Collective. So it's not quite stop motion, but it's getting in sort of the creative industry and the creative world in London, which, as everyone knows, London's like supposed to be. Well, I don't know what it is, but supposed to be the big place. So that's really cool. So I'll be doing a week at Electric Theatre.
They do like advertising, is it like mostly?
It's post production.
Oh really? Oh yeah, they do that. They do quite a lot of. I did.
They do a
my
lot of
job.
adverts. They do a lot. Of
Yeah, it's very advertising based.
Yeah, so I'll be doing a week there. I guess I can pour a good cup of tea. So that would be my foot in the door in some kind of aspects. But then I would love to carry on with stop motion. Really, I've been emailing various DPs just asking for chats. Like certain people. I met up with Laura Howie, who's a very successful DP at Aardman or senior lighting, which is very cool. So I'm just sort of trying to get insight from certain people in the industry. And I've just been emailing loads of production companies, got in touch with like, Ragdoll, for example.
Okay. Yeah.
An old company. They don't necessarily do the production anymore, but they're local to me, and they did like twirly woos and like children's stuff.
Okay.
But it's good because the producer of like that sort of thing, like Brum. Do you remember Brum? It's an old. You might not know. It's a old like British sort of children's TV show. Producer of him has been with that. Has been in contact with me. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then just sort of trying to get my name sort of in agencies sort of books to try and get my first sort of bit of work on set.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about creative. They always tell us do what you can, get your foot in your door, or just let your name be like remembered somehow.
Yeah, so I've been an annoying little pest, emailing everyone, everyone. Just trying to sort of get it out there, get my name out there because I'm, as I said, I'm very determined to carry on with stop motion.
Mm-hmm.
That is where my true passion lies.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for electric theatre because I might find a new passion. And I think, it's just sort of keeping the creative things going and not stopping, trying not to stop where I am because I've done so much already.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think would happen. And I'm very, proud of that. So just try not to sort of like tempo or stop and just keep going.
Oh, sick! Honestly, all the best for that. You gotta let me know how that one goes.
Oh, yeah, I will 100%, and I will put your name forward straight away. It's post production. You are the wizard of post production.
Thanks. I try my best. It's funny though.
You are just a wizard in general. You've been to Harry Potter world.
I've got my rope.
You got your robe. You got your wand.
Yeah, I think what most people don't realize is like obviously get your foot in the door and meet connections, and sometimes it's just like talking to people. That's the thing.
I think being yourself and being conversational is one of the best things you can do.
Like the worst they can do is online just ghost you or ignore you, and I found most of the time they're just busy.
Yeah.
Like they're not actively ignoring you. A lot of them are encouraging. Like quite a lot of people would love to help you if they had the time and capacity.
Yeah, exactly. People are just people at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're all actually really, really chill people.
Yeah. But I reckon, we'll be okay. Maybe nothing's happened immediately, but it's only been a month.
Yeah, I think slowly. We'll fingers crossed slowly.
Yeah, and then if not, carry on making my own productions.
Yeah,
you'll be involved. More film festivals. Hopefully, we'll get there.
And then we'll just keep going and going till we can.
Keep going and going.
Yeah, perfect. And obviously, as we're slowly reaching the end of our time, do you have any like last few bits of stuff you want to share?
I mean,
you shared a lot of cool stuff already.
I feel like I have blabbered. I've verbally diarrhea everywhere, but I guess that's about it really. It's sort of I've said everything that I sort of get up to, everything that I want to get up to. What about you?
I mean, I have my own project coming up. This is a new project for me.
I'm very intrigued about this. Obviously, I've read all the Kickstarter and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can tell me more?
So for this podcast was something that came way before I started uni. I always said I want to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Just could never find the right topic to like put in, because there are a lot of people doing podcasts, and I want to make something that I can actually feel strong against and like strong enough to sell. And just couldn't find it yet when I started. But then in uni, after 3 years, meeting everyone, working with so many people that do so many different things, and I think to everyone watching, you guys will see like all the people I've tried to reach out to would have done something very different, but I would have either met them, interacted with them, or even like helped them and work together with them. And I thought that would be very cool and interesting to like show what people do, how everyone's story is different, and like how everyone still kind of has the same inspiration of like, I want to get better and do something better.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You are constantly working, and you are constantly working to just sort of grow, which is very cool. And I guess this podcast will sort of not show off, but like just sort of show people that you are sort of getting involved with these people, and anyone can do it really.
Yeah.
Be willing to do it.
And I was like really camera shy before, so now I'm like just trying.
Yeah, well, I'm not best in front of cameras. It's like when I did that promotional thing.
Yeah. It's funny because obviously when I graduated, I've been doing so much post-production stuff, and I absolutely love it. But now, like, currently at this stage, as I'm filming this, I can share everyone, like, I've tried making my own short film. I'm in the middle of kickstarting another short film.
Yeah.
So it's like very weird that I'm transitioning to this production style of it.
But I guess the film is also kind of representing this, because it's like it's sort of about sort of mental health, isn't it? So
yes, that's the one I'm doing about.
And it's a great representation of what you're just talking about, because you are feeling a lot more confident in sort of getting on the camera and and behind the camera, not on the camera.
And it's also a little big genre change, because obviously post-production, like, I think the strongest I've done is like very narrative stuff. Like Misdeed's considered a narrative stop motion film.
We can ignore the narrative part.
But in terms of like how you fit it, this is gonna be an experimental genre. And experimental is kind of like a very crazy genre of film that, for short films specifically, that is very interpretive sometimes.
Experimental genre.
So it's racking a different part of my brain I'm not too sure about. And yeah.
That's really cool. It's really cool.
I'm also doing like a mini monologue short that's you'll see Cornwall's having a monologue competition.
Yeah.
And being in Cornwall, they're being really nice and supportive. Entry fees really cheap. Rules are quite relaxed. It's quite simple, straightforward to do. And it's just they're doing it to encourage even actors and just smaller filmmakers to try and like just make something. Like, even if it's 1 or 4 minutes, you could even take a insert out of like a play from Shakespeare, even like a book insert from like Roald Dahl or something like that. Just anything for an actor to perform, or you can just write your own stuff. And the fact is that flexible, and it's quite cheap to enter, and it's just really easy to understand. It's also a good starting point for anyone.
Yeah, well, I think that's also where I started as a sort of monologue thing when I came to Idea Generation.
Yeah.
And I was the first ideas I'd come up with, other than my stupid little 2D animations that I made, which are completely bizarre. The most ideas came out of like things that I thought about the most, which is monologuing. Well, I mean, I didn't write it down, but that's really cool that you're doing that. Yeah.
Now, honestly, like, I think what's gonna happen is, like, as everyone will see, everyone will be doing their different things, and we do it because we want to, and we'll keep doing it because we absolutely want to and love to. Yeah, but I think that's mostly all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining, Sam. I honestly wish you all the best with what you have.
Thank you.
Coming forward. And for everyone else watching, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, please drop it on the comments, and we'll reach out to you with any questions or queries. Hope you like this episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.